Assalamu alaikum everyone. So today we will be talking about three major threats to mobile SIM cards: swapping, cloning, and jacking. uh,
Sorry,
uh,
just want to highlight a point
Starting
to all
with
the attendees. Yeah, in Oman, he's not well, and mashallah, he's suffering from cold and flu. But despite being his this health condition, he has given us the time. So I really appreciate Nauman, your efforts. Thank you very much. Yeah, please go ahead.
Thanks, Atif. As Atif was mentioning, it's been more than 20 years in telecommunication industry. For with respect to founder of CloneWatch, we will touch a little bit about CloneWatch in one of the slides. Most of my career has been related to telecom cybersecurity, that is telecom networks cybersecurity. Also, I am deputy chair for Middle East Fraud and Security Group under GSMA. And Another position under GSMA is T-ISAC Global Governance Team Member. So for those who are unaware of GSMA, the GSMA is one of the largest organizations in the world handling telecom operators and vendors. So it is specifically for telecom industry. Except that I think Atif has mentioned well, so let's jump into the topic itself. Starting with a brief history of SIM cards. So some of us who have been there for that long and who have seen the start of mobile networks, uh, previously there used to be CDMA phones, mobile phones, and then GSM was introduced. When the GSM, mobile phones started, there used to be a SIM card which used to be the size of a credit card, and this whole card used to go inside your phone in order to start using the phone. Uh, these handsets sometimes were even smaller than today's handsets. I remember Motorola, I think StarTech was the name of the model, and it also used to have this whole card inside that one. Uh, it was one of my, I think, initial mobile phones. The different sizes of SIM cards are called form factors. And this full size was the first form factor of a mobile SIM card. Then it was maybe like 20 years ago, this was there. Then around 15 years ago, the second form factor of mobile SIM card was introduced to the industry, and this is called mini SIM card. Most of us have seen this size of SIM cards being used, in the market. Then around 10 years ago, the third form factor, which was the micro SIM, this was introduced. This is still in use in some of the older handsets. Mostly second form factor and first form factor mobile phones are no more there, but third form factor you can still find. But the most common SIM size, which is available here, which is being there for almost 5 years, is the fourth form factor, and it is the nano SIM card. And the new one, which is being introduced and it is gaining a lot of popularity, is the eSIM. And this form factor is called multi-form factor, MFF. eSIMs is something for which you do not need anything physical. So before eSIM, all these form factors were plug-in SIMs, and now this is the first one, which is purely a setting or a configuration being sent on your mobile phone, and rest of the equipment is already there in your mobile phone. Now, if we consider that what would happen in the next 5 years by 2030, what would be the market trend? So from GSMA intelligence, we can see that the integrated SIMs and the eSIMs, these both are the SIMs which does not need to be plugged in. These are not physical SIMs. So these are the major ones. 34% and 42% of the global market would be using these. But still, there will be plug-in SIMs there, 24%, and those will be in use in the market as well. So most likely nano SIM will stay there. till 2030. That seems to be the case. Now, a mobile SIM is a powerful thing. It's like a mini computer. It has its own hardware, which is the chip integrated circuit, and we can even see it when we have a SIM card in our hands. It has its own operating system, and it has its own storage and its own apps, not the apps on the mobile phone itself, but there are certain apps which are installed on the SIM card, and it provides connectivity and security. So overall, it's like a mini computer. This small chip which we add to our handsets, it's its own computer. There are various very important uses of a SIM card, starting with identification. The SIM card has an IMSI number, IMSI, which can be called as a SIM card number. This SIM card number is unique throughout the globe. So for example, I buy a SIM from here, Saudi Arabia, or I buy a SIM from any other country at any time. There will be an IMSI number embedded in that SIM card, and that will be unique globally. Same is true for eSIMs. So when you install an eSIM, there is an IMSI number for that eSIM. Also, this mobile SIM is used for authentication. There is a ciphering key. We will come to that part as well in a little bit more detail. Uh, when you buy a new SIM with the card itself, and you insert it for the first time in your handset. I will be using the term handset. It means mobile phone. There is nothing different. So you would be putting it in the handset. It will, for the first time, normally it will ask you to enter the PIN code or the PUC code, and those codes are mentioned over the mobile SIM card itself. So this security feature is also something which is a function inside the SIM card. You can change PIN and PUC codes. You can also disable those. Normally, we disable these for convenience because whenever the mobile phone will be restarted, the PIN or PUC code will be asked again. Then there are network configurations in the SIM card. So in order for your handset to latch to a mobile network, there are certain configurations, and those are stored. There are in old times, contacts and SMS used to be stored, on mobile SIM cards. So it was a handy feature at that time because you would store your contacts or SMS on your SIM card, and then if you want to change your handset, you will just take out the SIM from your one handset and put it in another handset, and your contacts and SMS will just transfer to the new handset. Now we have, smartphones. We have these cloud sync based services to do this function, that the contacts are synced, or the SMS are synced in different handsets. But previously, mobile internet was not there. It was not fast enough as well. So at that time, this was very handy feature. So this confirms the storage part of a SIM card. So overall, the SIM, with I mean, there are various features, but the most important one is that it is your ID to the mobile network, and mobile network recognizes you as a mobile user through your SIM card. So what if someone get access to your SIM card? Now, various kinds of attacks and threats are possible. Unauthorized access, definitely your calls, SMS will go to that SIM. The attacker has your SIM, so it is going there. Your identity theft and impersonation. So your identity is stolen in a way that now if he makes a phone call from that SIM, your number will appear, calling. And similarly, if you send an SMS, your number, the SMS will be received from your number. Financial banking fraud, because your number is registered in your bank, for example, he can call from that number and pretend to be you. Interception of calls, so he can receive calls which were sent to you, and he can receive SMS which were sent to you. Vishing, smishing attacks. Vishing is phishing through voice calls. and smishing is phishing through SMS. So he can do such attacks using your number. And denial of service. So because you won't be able to use your mobile if your SIM is with someone else. But the most important part, which I was mentioning previously as well, for the mobile network, the attacker becomes you. And the mobile network has no way to find out that now the SIM is not with the its owner, actual owner. So coming to three major threats. There are various other threats to mobile SIMs as well, but in this session, we will focus on these three major ones. And we will explore if these are only different names or there is like these threats are related or these are entirely different. So let's jump in. Starting with SIM swap. Now, there are other names for SIM swap attacks. SIM swapping is one of them. Port out scam, SIM splitting, SIM hijacking, and SIM jacking. Now, here we have to be careful that SIM jacking, because in the previous slide I mentioned SIM jacker as a different threat. So if somewhere you read about SIM jacking, then SIM jacking is SIM swap attack. It's not SIM jacker. So we will come to the SIM jacker part later on, but just to add to the confusion that these names are used to represent SIM swap. And what is a SIM swap attack? It's a flaw in the process of either mobile number portability or SIM replacement. So what is mobile number portability? This is a feature that if you have your phone number, and let's say you are an STC customer here in Saudi, and you want to shift to a mobile network, keeping your phone number. So this process, you will request Mobily that you want to switch to their network, keeping your number. They will initiate a request from their side. It will go through a portal, central portal of CST. It will reach to STC. STC will release, let's say, your number, and then it will be registered under Mobily. And this whole process is called mobile number portability. It is provided as such, there is a business reason to provide this one, that if there is a new operator which is launched in a country, they can do business well, because if people will not transfer to the mobile network just because they do lose their number, which is kind of their ID. So then the new mobile operator cannot survive in the market. So this is mobile number portability. And the other process is SIM replacement. And the SIM replacement process is very simple. You might have lost your SIM, or your SIM is damaged, or you want to change the form factor. So we saw the different form factors. Let's say you want to switch from mini SIM to an eSIM. So here also you will request them that shift me from this type of SIM to this type of SIM. Or in eSIM case, because eSIM is configured now or downloaded now in your handset. So if you buy a new handset, you would have to request them that shift my eSIM from the old handset to the new handset. In plug-in SIM, this is not required, because you can just take out the SIM and put it in the new handset. But in eSIM, you would need to do this part. So different kinds of simple processes which are used for, let's say, regular mobile users. These processes are exploited by attacker in a SIM swap attack. What it do is that, firstly, the attacker will try to gather your personal information through social engineering, phishing attacks, dark web, from wherever he can. Once he has that personal information, he will call the mobile operator where he wants to port out. So, for example, he wants to shift your SIM from STC to Mobily. He will call Mobily network and will try to trick them that he is the actual owner of this number and he wants to shift from STC to Mobily. So this part works in many countries. There have been many attacks where the attackers were able to trick mobile operator into believing that they are the actual owner. There are also cases of, let's say, bribing an employee. Let's say where you want to shift, you bribe the employee of that operator to help you go with the actual request in the system that you are the actual owner. So it's like an insider threat. There could be that the MNP system is compromised. So and the attacker has direct access to the system and he launch a request, an mobile number portability request remotely on that system. And in some countries, the mobile number portability can be done through OTP SMS. So when the request will go, the OTP SMS will be sent to the actual owner, and he has to just accept that OTP SMS, and after that, the MNP will happen automatically. So for this OTP related ones, the attacker tries to intercept OTP or it tricks the owner to give him the OTP, through various methods and so on. In some countries, even there is something like an IVR that you will receive an automated call. You will click, let's say, press one, and the MNP will happen. So such things are, exploited. Finally, when the SIM swap happens, the victim will lose connectivity to the network immediately. And that is why usually SIM swap is done at the night time. So when the owner is sleeping, the attacker will do the SIM swap. The SIM is now shifted to the other network and it is under his control, attacker's control. And the owner is, let's say, once he wakes up in the morning, he would find that all the damage is already done. Also, his mobile handset will be showing something like no connectivity or something. So he cannot make a phone call, he cannot contact, he cannot, let's say, prove that he's the actual owner and so on. So it's a very bad situation if the SIM swap happens for any victim. And once the attacker has the SIM swapped done, again, he can do the identity theft. He can also, hijack your social profiles through maybe OTP SMS, because he will receive the OTP, the calls, and so on. He can make phone calls and SMS from your number and so on. We discuss these different types of threats once the SIM is with the attacker. There have been many famous incidents with respect to SIM swap, and that's why normally this is the most commonly known threat. Initially, for example, in 2019, Twitter's CEO, who had 4 million followers, started posting strange tweets, and it continued for 20 minutes. And Twitter announced that hackers got access to CEO's mobile number. Then there was another big news again in 2019. A crime gang known as the Community was caught, who stole more than 2 million by performing 29 SIM swap attacks and stealing cryptocurrency and bank accounts. So in this particular case, because it was a gang, so two AT&T and one Verizon operators employees were paid to help, and they were the first ever telecom employees charged in a SIM swap case by a court. So that's why also it's a famous one. Then there are many famous actors, actresses whose Twitter accounts were hacked and were linked to SIM swap attacks. Also in January 2018, an 18-year-old performed a SIM swap attack on a cryptocurrency investor and stole over 20 million worth of cryptocurrency, because the owner had crypto exchange under him and he has access to that. So through SIM swap, he was able to do 20 million worth of cryptocurrency transferred. And FBI received more than 1,600 complaints about SIM swap attacks in 2021 alone. So this is the status of SIM swap attacks. Also, there is SIM swap as a service offered These are actual screenshots from Telegram, and if you see here, they are offering SIM-swap course for $100, where they will teach you how you can do your SIM-swap attack. Also here, they are offering SIM-swap attacks on US carriers like mobile operators, AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, and so on. If you have the carrier pin, it's $650, and without carrier pin, it's $750. So this is how it is done in the dark market. And also here, there is one case where they are offering you codes for SIM swapping from the carriers. So, and they have a subscription-based offering, so daily, weekly, monthly, and so on. So how can we protect against SIM swap attack? We went through this process, and so let's have the security measures or the measures we can take against these three steps. First, the personal information. So do not disclose personal information publicly. That is Security 101. Enable yourself to detect social engineering, smishing, phishing, wishing attacks, which are happening to you. I mean, if you fall for any of those, no other protection would usually protect you. Then non-SMS based multi-factor authentication should be used. We have Microsoft Authenticator, Google Authenticator, and some other authenticators as well. So they are more secure than an SMS based multi-factor authenticator. Then do not ignore suspicious activity. If you notice something happening on your, let's say, laptop, your mobile phone, and so on, you lost signal for a while or something, do not just ignore it. It could lead to an attack. Keep an eye on data breaches. And if you find your information in a data breach, update your information immediately. There are various services, free services, which let you know if your data is found on the dark web and so on. Also, public awareness is very important. For example, a session like this, or inform your family members. Mobile is used by everyone, so everyone could be a victim. Coming to mobile operators. Now, if you, as a mobile user, what you should do is firstly secure your mobile phone. The number one reason of OTP interception in the world is mobile malware. So, mobile malware, or we simply call it a virus or something, when it is installed on your handset, it could be through a crack app, it could be through a mod app, it could be through a jailbroken or a rooted phone. So, or you downloaded something from any website and that was actually a malware. So it is very important that your mobile is not infected, because that is how attackers do OTP interception. Then know if your mobile operator provides any additional security measures, like for example, in case of a SIM swapping requirement, not SIM swap, but let's say mobile number portability or SIM replacement. There is a PIN code which you need to enter. There is an alert which they can send you. Try to find out that what are those measures and enable those. There is also a strategy to use two mobile numbers. So in that case, you use one mobile number for publicly, which is known to everyone, your contacts, phone, friends, and even the delivery person who is coming. So that number is known. The other one is something which you use only for receiving OTPs, registering to accounts, and so on. So that number is not known. And this strategy can be very helpful, because it would be difficult for the attacker to find out that which number is used for your OTP, receiving. And for mobile operators, they have to introduce, the cybersecurity in their whole mobile number portability and SIM replacement processes. There are various processes, various steps which are taken, and there are multiple operators involved. There is a central body of CST involved. So the whole end-to-end process has to be, reviewed, and the security measures have to be taken, and security assessments have to be done on the whole process. Let's say the white hat hackers should try to do SIM swap and see if there is any loopholes in the process. From the human resource point of view, insider threat, they have to be vigilant to see there is no employee involved in any of these attacks. And from the regulator point of view, so in Saudi, we have CST as the regulator of mobile operators. So they should introduce relevant regulations and they should also ensure compliance of those regulations. Finally, if the SIM has swapped, what should you do? Firstly, you should know how to contact your mobile operator because your number is not working. If you call from any other number, the operator will say that how they know if it's you or the attacker. So you should know that in such case, how to approach. There could be some, again, PIN code, some ID, something which you can provide them and they can authenticate you. So this needs to be, figured out. Monitor your accounts if there is any suspicious activity is happening. So you have to change your passwords and so on. Disable SMS and call-based multi-factor authentication in case of SIM swap because those would be exploited. And lastly, for the mobile operators, they should try to introduce some kind of alerting. If it is found that SIM swap has happened, they should be able to alert the customer and they should have some remediation systems which should bring the customer back as soon as possible. In Saudi Arabia, we have various methods, security measures used again to protect against SIM swap attacks. First is the normal ones, OTP SMS from mobile operator or biometric verification. It is required normally if you need to do these processes. So you have to go to either the console or to the customer service office to provide your biometric. Then Nafaz system. So this is used there. They have their mobile number verification, PIN code, face recognition, and so on. So that's why in Saudi we do not hear about SIM swap attacks. And in other countries where such measures have been taken, SIM swap attacks are very rare. Also, Saudi has been doing a good job in raising public awareness through various, ads and campaigns on various channels. Coming to SIM cloning. Okay, so is it related to SIM swap or not? SIM cloning is a totally different kind of attack. It's a sophisticated attack and can be a nation state level attack. So it's not something done by an average attacker. So what happens is that the attacker is able to have a physical clone of your SIM. So by physical clone, I mean, exact clone of your SIM. It could be a virtual clone as well in case of eSIM, and even in physical SIM, it can have it in a system. But the point is he has actual copy of your SIM. How he do that? It can be through supply chain attack. SIMs are manufactured and there are authentication keys which are assigned to SIM cards. So those authentication keys, if stolen along with SIM card ID, which is IMSI number, then another SIM can be burned with the same configuration. There could be an insider threat, an employee is involved, OTP compromise, OTA, sorry, compromise. So OTA is something over the air service. This is a system which is installed at the mobile operator and which is communicating with your SIM card. And this communication is happening from mobile tower to your handset. So that's why it is called over the air. So this system, which is sending configurations to your mobile phone, if that system is compromised, that is another way. And it could be an international source. So in case of an international source, the attacker can be, can bypass all these SIM authentication phases because he is not in your network. And he can directly send a request from anywhere outside, any, gray area source to your network, pretending that the request is coming from you and your own SIM. And these attacks are more common because these are easier to perform. And so the request will come to your network as if it is coming from your own SIM. And network then has to find out that in actual it is coming from you or from attacker. So there are some controls against that one. Once the attacker is able to do the SIM swap, and as I was mentioning, he needs SIM authentication, and there is this old algorithm comp 128v1, which is no more in our SIMs. It's not being used anymore. But this algorithm could be compromised much easily. Now the algorithms, which are the latest ones, are not that easy. So SIM cloning is not easy to be performed. And the damage is similar. Once he is able to do this part, he can do all identity theft and call SMS interception and so on. Here is one difference as compared to SIM cloning and SIM swap. In SIM swap, the attacker gets your SIM and you lose connectivity. In SIM cloning, the connectivity will, because the network has two SIMs identical trying to latch to the network. So network will give connectivity to one SIM and the other SIM will try to, connect. It might shift back to the first SIM and then the attacker SIM will try to connect. So the connectivity will shift between these two. And once the attacker has the connectivity, he can do all these things. And then you will get back your connectivity and you wouldn't know that you lost signals for a little while. But in that, all this has happened. So is it difficult to do SIM cloning? Entry level kits are available. These usually worked on the old algorithm, which was there on the SIM cards. The newer algorithm is difficult to be cracked using these entry level kits, but a nation state can easily do that. And especially, there are states which are manufacturing the SIMs, so it's not very difficult for them. Um, the entry level kits can be bought from Amazon, AliExpress, but those again will work on those special SIMs using the old algorithms, and they won't work on the latest SIM cards. Now, SIM cloning, because of its sophistication, it's normally not easily found in the market. So if it even happens, it is not either disclosed or identified properly. So here is one incident which happened, and I did. I mean, based on the news which was there, I did some research, and I found out that all the major media was identifying this threat wrongly. So they identified it as SIM swap. But what happened in this case is that a customer of Google Fi, which is an MVNO on T-Mobile in US, he lost his connectivity, and then his various kinds of attacks happened on him, and then he gained back his connectivity. And it was related to SIM swap attack, like it was marketed as SIM swap attack. But in SIM swap, once you lose your connectivity, it cannot come back to you because it has been assigned to a different SIM of another network. So here it looks like that it was a SIM cloning attack. But maybe lack of expertise or something that it was not identified accordingly. I made this post about it a long time ago. So if anyone would like to read. Okay, so how to protect against SIM cloning attack? These initial ones are the same from SIM swap. So let's skip these and coming to the newer ones. Do not leave your SIM unattended or share it uh, because in Saudi we have multi-SIMs, and multi-SIM sometimes you give one of your multi-SIMs to any one of your friends or family members or so on. These SIMs can be used in SIM cloning using a specific, let's say, hardware or devices or so on. So it is advisable to do not either share it or do not leave it somewhere. Uh, Secure SIM info. So IMSI, as I mentioned, the unique SIM number, and ICC ID. ICC ID is a number which is normally mentioned on your SIM card physically. The ICC ID in most cases can be converted into IMSI number. So try that. Just do not, let's say, leave the card, SIM card, the actual one, not just the SIM, but the whole card. You just do not leave it anywhere, or do not throw it, that somebody can just read this information from there. Also, it's a good idea to set up PIN and puck codes on SIM, although it's a little inconvenience whenever you restart your handset, but it is something which will prevent SIM cloning, and would make it harder. Deactivate stolen SIM immediately. So if your SIM is lost, and let's say lost, so now you are trying to find it, and it was your secondary SIM, so you are not in a hurry, and you might spend a week or so. The attack can happen during that time. So it is advisable that you deactivate that SIM immediately, which you are unable to find. And also, if you are attacked for SIM cloning, disable SMS call-based multi-factor authentication on your accounts, for obvious reasons. Avoid rooted jailbroken phones, because those phones can provide or can leak or this sensitive information about your SIM card to the attacker. And secure mobile phone to prevent OTP interception, the same malware which I mentioned, threats related to mobile malware. For mobile operator part, they need to have signaling firewall. So this is something I was mentioning, that if somebody is from outside is pretending to be you, these signaling firewalls can detect and prevent against such attacks. Latest encryption on the SIMs is very important. By the way, if you have a very old SIM and you are still using it, better to get it replaced. Security assessments should be performed again on the mobile operator infrastructure and everything. Supply chain attacks has to be ensured that that is not possible. The whole process from the SIM manufacturing till you get your SIM in your handset, this whole process has to be ensured by mobile operator that it is secure. Inside the threat we already covered, and regulator part we already covered. Now, there is no commercially available SIM cloning detection solution in the world as of now. And that's why we are working to develop our own, and that is CloneWatch. And CloneWatch is something which will be integrated in the mobile operator. So it's not for the users, it's for the mobile operators. And it would be able to identify if a clone SIM is trying to connect to the network, and it will alert the mobile operator to take appropriate actions immediately. Lastly, the SIM jacker threat. Now, the SIM jacker threat is totally different threat. It is not related to SIM swap or SIM cloning. Uh, what happens in this one is that our SIM cards, as I mentioned in the start, have their own, let's say, operating system, their own apps. One of those is called SAT browser, and it is used for various kinds of configurations in your SIM card. Let's say when you add, is it visible now?
Yeah, it's visible now.
Okay. So yeah, then these binary SMS, which are used for doing some configuration, these are exploited by the attacker. So the attacker sends binary SMS not from your network or from that system which is supposed to send it. The attacker sends it from outside, let's say from an international network. And if the security controls are not there on your network, that SMS can reach to the victim's phone directly and can do that configuration changes. So this particular threat was discovered by Adaptive Mobile Security, which is a company in mobile network security related portfolio. And they are the ones who branded it as SIMJacker. There are known CVEs and CVD, which can be checked against this vulnerability. And as I was mentioning, from the attacker point of view, you will send a specially made SMS message, which will pass through your operator to reach your handset. And after that, he can do various kinds of things. For example, surveillance on you, or he extract your IMEI number, which is the unique number of your handset. He can launch a website on your handset. He can initiate a call, SMS, or USSD on your handset by sending just this binary SMS, or he can display a text on your handset notification. So SimJacker, when once it was discovered and disclosed, it was there in the media. There were many news about this one based on this research report, and we can even have a look on some of the statistics which were revealed through this report. So here they mention about different kinds of commands with Jacker attack, and most of these were information retrieval commands. So the attacker was trying to find information about your handset, your SIM, and so on. And there were some others which was either just information retrieval or other activity, but mostly it was information retrieval, two elements. Then also what type of information? Mostly it was location information and IMEI. So the attacker was trying to find where you are right now, plus what is the unique number of your handset. And also the location tracking was done, like when this report was said released, they did a comparison for location tracking or surveillance. There is another way also, which is through SS7 attacks. But it was found that SimJacker attack was used 94% as compared to only 5% where the other type of channel was used. So it was, I mean, we exploited hugely. Also, it was not specific to a certain area. Many countries were affected as per the report. So many countries received, or the subscribers received these attacks of SimJacker. Also, you can see that the affected countries, 29, and operators who were operating in these 29 countries, 61, they were compromised or were targeted by a SAT browser attack. Another attack which is related to WIB, and this is also something which is on the SIM card, but those were very few. So here what we can do to protect against a SIM jacker. And it is very difficult to do anything as a user because you wouldn't even notice that this attack has happened. The message will come to your handset and the output will go out. So one thing you should again is do not ignore a suspicious activity. For example, a web page suddenly opens on your handset or a message pops up or something. It shouldn't be ignored, and you should see that why this happened. And if there is no reason found, then it's better that you take some security measures. Public awareness, and again secure the SIM card IMSI and ICCID number because those are used in these attacks. For mobile operator, they need to have both signaling and SMS firewall in this case, because binary SMS attacks can be protected using these SMS firewalls. Security, there are various security guidelines which should be implemented by mobile operators to prevent against SIMjacker, and security assessment should be performed to see that if mobile operator is actually protected against this. Regulator related is the same. So ending with this one, we saw these three major threats to SIM cards. So know the difference and protect yourself. Thank you very much. Back to you, Atif. I thought to leave few minutes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nauman. It was very informative session. Really appreciate it. So, guys, if you have any questions, please go ahead. And please post your questions in the chat box, or if you want, even we can unmute you as well.
I think there is a question.
Yeah, one question was there. If yeah, please go ahead, read. What's integrating SIM was the one. Mhm.
Yeah, so integrated SIM is like eSIM, but this is normally integrated SIM is something which comes already integrated your handset. So th- although integrated SIMs will be able, you would be able to change them as well. So we can say that initially the idea was that the handset is bound with one SIM, but then later on, integrated SIM is also something you can change on the fly, and there is nothing physical to be added or so on. It is like eSIM configuration are downloaded on the handset, and you can use that SIM. So those are integrated SIMs.
Okay, we also have another question from Dr. Mubashir. Dr. Mubashir, your mic is on mute now. You can ask your question. Seems there is something in the chat.
Thank you, sir, for your good conversation and for your lecture. It's very informative. So,
Okay,
I
so
want
his
to ask
question is about.
another
Yes, Dr. Mubashir, please go ahead. Your voice is not clear. Can you please be loud?
uh, are you listening?
No, unfortunately, your voice is a bit low. Okay, your question, as I can read in the chat box, you are talking about, can you please guide us how we can bypass these attacks? Right? This is what you are looking for. So, yeah, okay, great. So, Nauman, can you please, I guess the talk, okay, briefly, yeah, Nauman, please go ahead if you want to say something.
So bypass these attacks, if I understand correctly, this means how you can protect against these attacks. For each attack, I tried to mention respective security, steps you can take. In SIM swap attack, there are like primarily, let's say, security measures you need to take, but you cannot prevent an actual SIM swap, but because that will happen from the attacker and network side. But before you reach to that stage, you should protect your personal information so that the attacker cannot pretend to be you. For SIM cloning, again, your SIM related information, these are very important that those are not disclosed because those are used whenever the SIM needs to be cloned. But if the SIM is cloned, as a user, you will face that experience that you are losing signals, then you are gaining it back, and so on. So you can identify that something is wrong from SIM cloning point of view. In SIM swap, definitely you would know because you will lose the connectivity completely. Lastly, for SIM jacker, there is very less a user can do because this attack also exploits the backend. But protecting your SIM related information always helps. Plus, uh, do not install these, fraud, malicious apps which can do any kind of fraud, unprotected apps, unknown apps, downloads, and so on, because they help in these attacks.
Okay, thanks. So there is another question, or there are another questions from Riyadh. If you can go through this, it's talking about how to identify the risk of the SMS providers. And is your company operating in KSA?
Okay, so the second question, CloneWatch. Yes, CloneWatch is a KSA-based startup, and CloneWatch is, as I mentioned, is only focused on the second threat, SIM cloning. So it is not covering SIM swap or SIM jacker related attacks. The first question, how to identify the risk of the SMS provider. SMS as a overall is not a secure medium. So SMS once it was developed 40 years or 30 years ago. It was made for something like, a postcard, which is open. Everyone can see the postcard when it is sent from one person to another. And SMS is like that. So we started using it for OTP and such cases, but in actual it shouldn't be used. It's not that medium which should be used. So SMS provider, it could be your operator, it could be an SMS aggregator, it could be there are some bulk SMS providers, so on. None of these can ensure the security because SMS itself is not secure. So wherever you can avoid using SMS for any security measure, try to avoid that. And if I missed something, please let me know.
No, Yani, you answered the question. So, okay, there is last question which is talking about, is it possible to sharing of this presentation?
I think there will be a recording will be shared,
Yes,
so
sure.
that can help.
There will be a recording, Mubashir, so we'll be posting this on multiple social media channels, inshallah. Okay. So I guess we are done. Even the time, everything is perfect. So thank you very much, everyone, for attending this session, and thanks to Nauman for, despite being your health condition, you gave us the time, and really much appreciated. And we wish you all the best in your, CloneWatch project.
Thank you. Thanks a
Thank
lot
you
for
very much.
everyone. And it was great to have this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome.